Muted.
What I'm showing here is a aerial shot or plan view of the project and the phases of the project. Phase A, which is shown in the yellow, is the lengthening of the 12th Avenue and 31st Street.
Mr. Leonard, we're having difficulty seeing your computer screen.
Okay, stand by.
There you go. If you want to.
Muted.
Plan view of our project, replacement of the bridges, CBD bridges through downtown Birmingham. This is a phase project. Phase A is what's shown in yellow, and it shows the actual bridges that are being lengthened, 12th Avenue and 31st Street bridges. This is phase 1, which was the widening of bridges on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Avenue North. Phase 2 is the purple or blue color, and that's where most of the work is ongoing at this present time. Purple is phase 3, which is the replacement of the bridges downtown, along with the modification of the ramps at Red Mountain Expressway and how they will tie to the interstate through 12th and 31st Street and 12th Avenue in that area. And phase A, as I mentioned, is the bridges that have been lengthened at 12th and 31st Street. These bridges are actually complete almost. 12th is open. 31st should be open to traffic within the month. Phase 2, as I mentioned, is the construction of interchange and modification at 65 and 5920. Currently, the phase 2 is approximately 46% on time and 36% complete. We anticipate the contractor being able to pick up some ground this summer with the pouring of decks and setting girders and pouring decks, and we'll see a lot of that work ongoing this summer. This is some aerial view that was taken just recently on the project. It shows some of those decks that's been poured to date, and you can see some of the columns and piers that are in place, and they'll be going all the way through this area, placing girders and placing decks. So we anticipate that is a pretty high dollar amount that takes place in a short period of time. So we anticipate the contractor catching up on some of his time this summer. You can see this is the bridge that will come from 11th Avenue over the interstate and tie to 65 South. That's the major construction that you see in this area, on this shot. This is a view looking north on I-65. You can see some of the work that's ongoing. This is a 12th Court bridge. Foundations are being put in, that the new bridge that we go over the interstate at 12th Court. You can see some of the wall work that's ongoing for the new ramp that goes from 11th Avenue ramps to 65 North. This is a view looking south on I-65. You can see additional work that's ongoing in this area. You can see those same columns and how they'll tie over to across the interstate. At this location, you can see the widening of bridges that will allow some additional traffic changes in the interchange once we're complete. This is a view looking west. This is the piers for the new 17th Street exit. If you're coming from 65 northbound, you'll come around the interstate, parallel to the interstate, and get on this new ramp and then tie to 17th. This is the existing 17th Street ramp, and this will replace the 17th Street exit at that location. You also can see all the work that's ongoing along 11th Avenue somewhat in that area, and how those ramps will tie again over the interstate and tie to 65 southbound. This is a look from 11th Avenue. If you're coming up 11th Avenue in the future, you'll get on these ramps that are being constructed that will actually go over 15th Street and 16th Street, and they'll remain open. And then these ramps, one will go to 59 southbound, another ramp will go 65 southbound over the interstate, and there'll be a ramp that will go 65 northbound. So this is the work that's ongoing in that area. You can also see that also the ramp for 17th Street again in this shot. The traffic impacts at this time, we'll talk some about the near-term, current traffic impacts and the near-term traffic impacts. As you know, we have some permanent closures. Some of these streets that we've talked about previously, they're closed and will remain closed once the interchanges are modified. This is a closure on 65 southbound. If you're going to exit and go 59 northbound, one of those lanes are closed. We hope to get that back open in the future, but currently it's closed. I know that's causing some grief for the traveler and public, but hopefully we can get that open back up soon in the near future. Okay, this is the closure, 12th Avenue Court, showing the bridge here is still closed, and this is a detour for that location. Temporary closure for 31st Street, which we talked about earlier. But hopefully that will be open within the next month. We're going to report that at our next briefing. There's still some ongoing work at 9th Avenue near the Civic Center, and we're having detours around this area. This will be ongoing for probably several months to replace some utilities that has to be relocated as a part of Phase 2 to get ready for the Phase 3 construction, which is the bridge replacement, mainline bridge replacement. There will be some temporary closures also next week. You'll see that at Reverend Abraham Woods Boulevard and at 5th Avenue, there will be some temporary closures for a period of time as they do some work overhead to avoid, if you can avoid this area, and we'll have this on our website when the actual closures will take place. This is just temporary lane closure, not permanent. As you know, you can reach us by way of any announcements are on our Facebook page, on our website, or either you can reach us by Twitter, and you can reach out to us, and we'll try to respond back to you. I also like to announce that Phase 3 has been let to contract, and we anticipate having a contractor on the ground working by mid-June. So we're working very diligently to get that underway, and that will include the replacement of the bridges downtown and the modification of the Red Mountain Expressway and the ramps, how they tie on the east side of the project. So that will, you can see that taking place, and we'll have more details about Phase 3 in our next briefing. Because by that time, the contractor will have given us his schedule of operations, and we'll have a little more detail how he's going to pursue the project. So with that, if you have any questions, I do want to mention one other thing. Next week, we anticipate we will have a major closure that we will be announcing. So we'll be contacting the media and reaching out to you to probably have another briefing, talk about a specific closure around the 17th Street area. And that will take place next week, and it'll be, the actual closure will take place the latter part of the month. So is there any questions? We'll be glad to take those questions.
With that, I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody's microphones. If you have a question, feel free to go ahead and ask. Okay. I know we've got a couple of media people on the web. As always, this will be posted back to the web and archived for those purposes. If you do have any questions and you need to reach out, please get in touch with Linda, and she will work it through to make sure you get a specific answer. Mr. Leonard, is there anything else you want to wrap up with?
I just continue to ask the public to be patient with us. We know this project is going to be significant in affecting the traffic patterns, but we ask you to continue to be patient with us, and we'll do what we can to minimize that disturbance.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you attending, and we'll be back in touch next week.